Welcome to the new episode of vSphere Breakroom Chats. I'm Shobhit Bhutani, Product Marketing Manager at VMware, and I'm VMware's Product Marketing Lead for AI/ML and DPUs. In this role, I lead messaging and positioning for VMware Private AI, which is basically our AI/ML offering, so to speak, vSphere and DPUs. In this series, we bring VMware and partner experts to discuss VMware's vSphere and associated cloud products. These fabulous cloud experts also share their backgrounds, industry trends, and any other tips they want to give to IT experts and our customers. Really excited today to talk to Motti Beck from NVIDIA. In his role, Motti leads NVIDIA's networking solutions for private cloud and for on-premises deployments, and has been working very closely with myself and a whole bunch of people on VMware side on vSphere, DPUs, and VCF networking solutions since ESX4 was announced. Today, we're going to talk about DPUs with VMware with NVIDIA. Welcome, Motti.
Thank you. Thank you. Glad to be here, Shobhit, and thanks for inviting me.
Wonderful. So with that, let's kick this off, Motti. What do you think are the key challenges that data centers today face in terms of infrastructure complexity?
Yeah, so at the end of the day, it's all about the workloads that we're running. And it's not going to be a surprise to any one of us that the workloads that we're running today and very challenging is the machine learning, AI machine learning workloads that are very demanding from many aspects. One of the aspects is, of course, the amount of data that needs to be processed. This needs to be done in a parallel processing environment. Many servers are connected together, and this is where the networking is pretty much very critical for the performance itself. It needs to be in real time. And the second one is that the data is not local. It's all over the place. It's only can be local, but it's many times it's over in the cloud, in the edge. And this is where the security needs to be it's started to be a pretty severe issue. You need to find a way to make it more robust and isolate the workloads from running or controlling the security as well. So this is what we have been doing together for the last couple of years, and using our technologies to come with a new architecture to reinvent the data center architecture, to come with an accelerated data center architecture that are efficient enough to run all those workloads.
Yep, the distributed workloads, right?
Yeah.
Now, how do you think vSphere with DPU solves this problem?
So the vSphere can solve it by offloading and accelerating and isolating specific tasks from running from on the CPU to other core processor. Of course, the machine learning itself is offloaded to the GPU itself, but there are some other tasks like the securities that needs to be offloaded, can be offloaded and are offloaded to another processor that called the DPU, the data processor unit. And just in a brief, the data processors unit is integration of the regular NIC, the performance NICs that you must have for the communication. And also it has ARM cores for the compute. In case of our recent DPU called the Bluefield 3 DPU, it has about 16 cores of ARM processor, A78, actually that provide the compute. The compute is not to run the application itself. The application and the workloads are going to continue to run on the x86, of course. This is the best processor to run, but the DPU is going to take specific tasks of operation like the security, and it has its own control plane, and to make it an accelerated data center that is most secure to run those new workloads.
Exactly. And that's where vSphere on DPUs, right? And our integration with the DPUs that NVIDIA has done is really where vSphere 8 and VCF have really ushered in this new era of heterogeneous computing for data centers. By taking these infrastructure functions, networking, security, the ones that Motti was talking about, it's really helping offload stuff from the CPUs, right, onto the DPUs, like the stuff that the CPU doesn't really need to handle, right? And that's when that can lead to some phenomenal amounts of throughput improvements, drops in latency, etc. and just basically delivering for customers the best price for performance. Because guess what? Now your CPU has been offloaded from these non-fundamental to the application functions. That's the value of vSphere and DPUs, and our partnership with NVIDIA. So now let's talk a little bit about those wonderful benchmarks, Motti, that we did at launch and then updated later on. Let me share my screen, then I'll let you speak to them.
Yeah, so the solution, the vSphere 8.0 solution, is already on the DPU, called the feature called Distributed Services Engine, is already available and was released about more than a year ago. And during this year, we were able actually to run a couple of benchmarks. The first ones that we ran and published is Redis. We compare the results running Redis on a traditional infrastructure and the new infrastructure, and you see the results. It basically generates a much higher bandwidth, 50% lower latency. Again, this is all about the efficiency. And more surprisingly, actually, and great, is that it's provide higher efficiency from the power point of view. 30% more high power efficiency means that you, on the same power budget that you are using on the traditional deployment, you can run 30% more VMs, or to use less servers, 30% less server to run the same workloads. And this is one benchmark. Recently, sorry, you also published a benchmark with a customer or a user, BWI, that was able to show that when running the distributed firewall on the DPU, on the DSC environment, you can get about more than 2x higher number of security rules. So this is, again, validates the security aspect of the solution. And everybody can test it by himself. We have a mechanism called or a solution called a Launchpad that everybody can go and register and test your own application, test your own benchmarks. Just go to NVIDIA, look for NVIDIA website, look for the Launchpad and register yourself. Everything is ready to run. You don't need to do it yourself on-prem.
So really, really good point there, right? Launchpad has been something that y'all launched like a few years back, and it's just a great space for to play with these workloads, right? Yeah. So wonderful. Now, let's go to the last question, right? How hard is the installation, and how hard is day one, day two, like the management activities?
Yeah, it's basically the same. There is no difference. There is no difference between running on the traditional and running on the DSC, the Distributed Services Engine itself. All you need to have is a server that is a Monterey server, that you have the Bluefield plugged into it instead of the regular NIC, and it's up and running, and everything is already integrated into the vSphere 8.0. Nothing else, nothing specific, the same vSphere, the same user experience, the same look and feel. Basically, it's a feature within an existing product. It's up to you to decide if you want to use it or not.
Exactly, right? I think you summed it up really well, right? And here's a quick look at the interface, right? To your point, right? It's the same vCenter client, right? That everyone's used to. You go to the lifecycle manager, and right there's all the right activities that you need to go do. Same integrated vSphere workflows, right? That the admins are already used to. And obviously, most importantly, we're VCF now, right? We're a VCF centric company. Same exact thing at a VCF level, right? Is the same processes you have today for your lifecycle management. Go to the same interfaces. You get the access to the DPUs, and through lifecycle manager, you're able to do all your activities just the way you want them. Yeah. No change, right? And just basically you're able to work through the same interfaces that you're used to, like exactly like Motti said. So with that, we're coming to a close today. Thank you so much for joining me, Motti.
Yeah, thank you as well, Shobhit. It was great talking to you, and looking forward to the next one as well.
Yes, absolutely. We're gonna do this regularly, like we just spoke, Motti. Great conversation. Thank you so much again. And with that, we're coming to an end of this episode. If you like this episode, definitely join for the next one. This is your host, Shobhit Bhutani, Signing off. Have a fabulous day, evening, night, and weekend.